Hi, this is MarqueeCrew, and I'd like to talk to you in this episode about performance enhancements for your workflows. Alteryx generally runs so fast you wouldn't think about needing performance tuning. And when you're starting to construct a workflow, here are some thoughts that might speed up your end results. As an Alteryx partner, this is one of the first workflows that I was asked to create to be able to demonstrate Alteryx to a new user. And in that, what we want to be able to do is take customer data and be able to identify these customer segments that a customer ID is in and be able to pair that data up with transactional data so that we can then take a look at the sum of all the customer spend within a segment, and we come up with these metrics. And we're very happy we've now been able to create a report of customer spend by segment. In looking at that, that runs at about 0.8 seconds, and I could spend a lot of time trying to tune this to be 0.7 seconds, but is that really necessary? Well, when you're working with large sets of data, maybe it's 8 minutes versus 7 minutes, or maybe it's 80 minutes versus 7 minutes. There are times where you can go and make your workflows run faster without a lot of effort. Inside of Alteryx, you can use, under the Runtime tab, enable performance profiling tools that will then explain where your data time is happening. And here we can see that the time is being consumed in this summarization. But let's not use the enable performance profiling. Let's just think about this. And what I've got is a second process that looks very much like the first process, except I've got a union tool in there. And why do I have a union tool in there? Well, there really are 5 segments that exist. There's a segment where the customer is unknown, where there was data coming through this right part of the join that I want to be able to demonstrate. So part of getting the answer faster is getting the answer correctly faster. So I just want you to think about that also, that fast isn't the only element that you're trying to achieve in any workflow process. So next, I've got another process which includes the union, but I've moved this select in front of the join. Now, why did I do that? Well, this select was originally placed into the workflow so that sales could become a double. It was originally read as a CSV or XML file, and you've got everything is defined as a V string. When I went into the summarization tool to get a summary of sales, I had to change it to a double. Now I've got a select here where I've actually deselected all of this information. So taking a look at this again, in this process where I had the 5 before, that ran in 0.9 seconds. Now, what I'm doing is I'm removing all of the fields that I don't need from the data immediately. When it goes into the join, you've got less data to join. And when I run this workflow, and I look at the time, I've now reduced it by 0.1 second. Again, I'm looking at a very small amount of data here. It's going to run very quickly. It's hard to measure the performance, but there's one type of a technique can be used throughout your workflows. Remove the data that you don't need during the process. Things will run faster. Now, to be able to demonstrate that things are running faster, I'm going to take that same process, but for every transaction that I see, I'm going to make 1,000 transactions. So I'm generating more transactions. just so we can see a timing difference. This is now running through the process, and it's taking each of the incoming transactions, multiplying it by 1,000, and now I come up with my new spend. It's a lot more that they've spent, probably 1,000 times as much, and that takes 16.1 seconds. Well, if I were performance tuning this, I might want to put a second summarization here. And this summarization is going to sum all of the sales by customer IDs before I go into the join. Now what that's going to do is it's going to give me one record per customer ID. Before I had 1,000 records per customer ID that was going into this join. If I do the customer spend calculation this way, we're still going to see it multiplying the records by 1,000. Then it's going to go into the summarization. And our output, instead of being done in 18 seconds, is being done in 8 seconds. So these types of techniques where I've decided where I'm going to place summarizations, where I'm going to go and minimize the effort for a join. These are all techniques that you can think about to go and come up with a better or more improved process. I hope that this gets you thinking. Do take those weekly challenges. They'll help you to at least visualize where you're putting together a process, how somebody else has put together a process slightly differently. By the way, I have more tools here in this process than I do in this process. And with more tools, I'm actually running faster. So the answer might not be fewer tools. Have a great day. Thank you.